Hi, I'm Dr. Bertice Berry. I started doing these because I had a few friends who were struggling with the pandemic and trying to just get by. They said if I could hear your voice every day, it would be so helpful. But I was coming upstairs to make masks, and I make masks from can't see to can't see, morning to night, and sometimes it was difficult to get back to them. So I thought if I record a little message before I start sewing and post it, then they can see it and hopefully it helps. They've all said that it does. But more than that, it's now gone from those 5 to hundreds of thousands of people all over the world, and that is a blessing to me. The stories connect us, stories help us, stories heal. We are wired for narrative. Stories do that thing that I love. They are parsimonious. It's a $3 word that simply means it says the most in the least amount of space. Today I need to tell you the story of Dr. Elizabeth Mullins. She was my advisor in my graduate program at Kent State University. I was her graduate assistant, and she was working on a research problem. She was studying elite black women from the 40s and 50s, and she wanted to know what made them elite, what got them over the hurdles. Now, I need to tell you that Dr. Mullins was a white woman from Minnesota. One day I got up the nerve to ask her why she was studying black women. Dr. Mullins looked at me in her stern look, because she was tough. And she said, if we can figure out how black women, descendants of slaves, made it to successful lives, we can figure out how to get all people there. She said, your people, black women, you're the key. This was so foreign to me. Dr. Mullins barely spoke. She was tough when she did. She was cussing you out. She'd cuss you out for interrupting her thinking by breathing too much. My other colleagues seemed to be so buried into their work that they just didn't have time to have these conversations. But Dr. Mullins would notice if I seemed to be a little bit down or alone, and she'd say, how you be? And I said, I'll be fine. And she'd go back to her work. One day I was struggling with some of the data that the former graduate assistant had coded. Everything was coming up with zero education for these elite, the mothers of the elite black women. And I knew that that wasn't true without being told I had gone in the old boxes and read the raw data, the real questionnaires, the answers. And I knew that they told stories of their mothers and their mothers' education. So to see this coded as zero, I knew there was a problem. You see, in research, if there's data missing, like someone asked, what level of education did your mother have? If you don't know, you coded a 9. If they've had none, you coded a 0. And there were too many 9s in the histories of these women. There are too many 9s in the histories of our lives. But sometimes people put 0 when they really mean, I don't know. I was taking so long with this question, Dr. Mullins came running down the hall, slammed in that door, and said, what's taking so blankety blank long? I looked at her and said, Dr. Mullins, something is wrong here. I stuttered and stammered, and she said, spit it out. And I explained to her about this coding error. And she stared at me for the longest. And she said, Burt, I thought you were like the other grad asses. Just stupid. But you're not stupid. You're ignorant. And then I made the mistake that so many have made before me of just giving you a piece of information to get from one task to the next. She said, I've had so many problems with the young male students who just don't want to work through it that I just give them piece by piece. She said, that's wrong. I need to give you the whole picture. And then you can give me back the whole picture. She said, this is important stuff. She started to cry. These women's lives are important, that they share it with me. It's important. I said, I know. Black woman. She said, from now on, I'll tell you everything. Because ignorant you can work with. Ignorant is I don't know. Stupid is I don't want to know. I don't need to know. I already know. She said, we don't have time for stupid. But ignorant can change. Sometimes people ask about why I'm so patient doing this work, because ignorant can change. I love you.